Today I'm going to explain you about the topics in managerial economics. These are the topics you are going to study in managerial economics. That is managerial economics, meaning, nature, scope and significance, use of managerial economics, roles and responsibilities of managerial economist, theory of the firm and industry, objectives of the firm and alternate objectives of the firm and managerial theories. These are the topics you are going to study. So before starting, let us study what you mean by economics. So economics has come from the two Greek words, that is eco, and the other word is norms. Eco means home and norms meaning account. So in the earliest days, this economic was the a thing which has been used by the family in order to maintain the family accounts. So that's why the name it is called as economics. That means home and the meaning is accounts. So the subject has developed from being about how to keep the family accounts into the word ranging subject of today. So after this, let us see what is the definition of economics. So as you all know, one of the standard definition of economics is it is nothing but the study of the production, distribution and consumption of goods and services. That means in an organization or in anything, so what is the production, what is the distribution and the consumptions of goods and services. And there are many definitions of economics. Like the other definition of economics is like the economics is defined as a body or knowledge or study that discusses how a society tries to solve the human problems of unlimited wants and scarce resources. So this is also the other definition of economics. And actually the first definition here indicates that economics includes any business or it may be non-profit organization or administrative unit. And in the second definition, the definition is like it is a study of choice related to the allocation of scarce resources. So it is nothing but how the manager of these organizations do. So that is the meaning of economics. So as I told, the economics originates from the Greek word oikonomics. Okis means home and nomos means management. So according to the Adam Smith, who is called the father of modern economics, defined economics as the study of nature and causes of nations, wealth, or simply as the study of wealth. It is according to the economist, that is Adam Smith. So according to Robbins, economics is a science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. So there are many definitions of economics, and there is one more definition of economics. So it is concerned with the production, distribution and the goods and services, right? How the goods are distributed, how they are produced and how the goods and services are being consumed. So these are the various definitions of your economics. Actually the economics has been divided into many categories, that is the macroeconomics, microeconomics. As you all know, micro is nothing but the small, and it is nothing but it looks at the smaller picture of the company, and it is also the study of behavior of small economic units. Actually in microeconomics, it is a study of individuals and business decisions, whereas you all know macro is nothing but large, and it is actually a branch of economic analysis that deals with the study of aggregates. So it is a branch of the economic analysis actually that deals with the study of aggregates, as opposed to microeconomics. In macro analysis, we study the industry as a unit and not the firm. So the macroeconomics looks at the decision of the countries as well as the government. And you all know that microeconomics is the study of the economics at an individual, group or company level, whereas macroeconomics is the study of national economy as a whole, where we study GDP, inflation rate. So that is called as your macroeconomics. And microeconomics focus on issues that affect individuals and companies, right? So it actually forces how the your company affects from the issues, or that is called as microeconomics. Macroeconomics actually It focuses on the issues that affect the nations and the world economy. So let us see, there are few differences between microeconomics and macroeconomics. So microeconomics is nothing but the study of individual economic units of an economy. As I told, individual economic units, like you are going to study your organization, how it is affecting, so that and all comes under your microeconomics. And the macroeconomics is nothing but it is a study of economy as a whole and its aggregate. So whole country will be studied, or we are going to study the other country, so what are the effects of any changes in that country. So these are the things we are going to study. And in microeconomics, it deals with individual income, individual prices, individual output, etc. Whereas your macroeconomics deal with aggregates like national income, general price level, and national output, where we talk with respect to country, national income, price level, and national output. Where in the microeconomics, the central problem is price determination and allocation of resources, right? Where, because we only with concern with the organization, where the central problem is determination of level of income and the employment, where the main tools are demand and supply of a particular commodity in microeconomics, where here the main tools are aggregate demand and aggregate supply of economy as a whole. And the other difference of microeconomics and macroeconomics are microeconomics actually helps to solve the central problem of what, how, and for whom to produce in the economy, whereas the macroeconomics helps to solve the problem of full employment of resources in the economy. And even the microeconomics discuss how equilibrium of the consumer, a producer, or an industry is attained, whereas the macroeconomics, it is always concerned with the determination of equilibrium level of income and employment of the economy. And in the microeconomics, price is the main determinant, but in the macroeconomics, income is the main determinant. So few examples of microeconomics are like individual income, individual saving, price determination of the commodity, individual firm output, and consumers equilibrium. Whereas in the macroeconomics, the examples are like national income, national saving, general price level, aggregate demand, aggregate supply, poverty, and unemployment. So I hope you understood the meaning of the microeconomics and macroeconomics. And the next topic is, let us enter to the syllabus, that is the definition of your managerial economics, right? You know the definition of economics. Economics has come from the how in the earlier days the household accounts is maintained. So through that the economics has come into picture. So what do you mean by then managerial economics? So managerial economics is the application of economic theory and methodology in application of economic problems and theories to decision making problems faced by both the public and the private institutions. So this managerial economics is not only limited to the private sector, it can be applicable to a public sector for a good decision making by the application of the theories and the methodologies that comes in the managerial in good decision making. So that is called as your managerial economics. There are many other definitions of managerial economics. So other definition of managerial economics is the integration of an economic theory with business practice for the purpose of facilitating decision making and forward planning by management. That means where we are going to use the best practices, business practices. Why we need to use that business practices? So in order to propose a good decision making and in order for the future planning by the management. So that is called as managerial economics. So let us see what is the nature of your managerial economics. There are many things that comes under the nature of managerial economics. The first one is microeconomic analysis, and the second one is economic of the firm, science as well as art, managerial economics as positive and normative science, pragmatic and realistic, conceptual and metrical, acceptance to use and utility of macroeconomic variable, and sophisticated and developing discipline, and applied business economics. So these are some of the nature of economics. Let us see one by one. What do you mean by microeconomic analysis? So the main part of the study of your managerial economics is the behavior of the business firm, so which is microeconomic unit. Therefore, the microeconomic is essentially a microeconomic analysis. So under the study of managerial economics, the problems of the firms are analyzed and solved through the application of economic methods and tools, and it does not study the whole economy. That's why we call it as microeconomic analysis. The next nature is economics of the firm. So according to the Norman, managerial economics includes that portion of economics known as the theory of the firm, or body of the theory which can be of considerable assistance to the business in the decision making. For instance, the study of managerial economics include the study of the cost and revenue analysis, or it can be price and output determination, or it can be profit planning, or it can be demand analysis and demand forecasting of the firm. That's why we say that we are going to study the different economies of the concerned firm. And the third one is science as well as art. So microeconomics is not only the science, but it is also an art, right? Why we say that? Because managerial economics is both knowledge acquiring and knowledge applying discipline. So whatever the models or the methods we study, we are going to study that and we are going to apply in practical. So that's why it is concluded as both science as well as art. And the next one is managerial economics, a positive and normative science both. So it is a positive when it is confined to statements about cause and effect. That's why we say it as a positive, and to functional relationship of economic variable. Why it is normative means when it involves the norms, standards, or mixing them with cause and effect analysis. So managerial economics is not only tool making but also tool using science. So it not only studies the facts of an economic problem but also suggests its optimum solution. That's why we call it as positive and normative science. And the next one is it is pragmatic and realistic. So it is pragmatic and realistic in nature because it is concerned with analytical tools which are helpful for decision making in the company. And the next one is it is conceptual and metrical. That means it studied theory and applies to a particular problem. So it applies the quantitative techniques to achieve a decision making and forward planning. That's why it is conceptual and metrical. And the next one is acceptance of use and utility of macroeconomic variable. That means in understanding the overall economic environment of an economy and its influence on a particular firm, the study and knowledge of macroeconomics variables or macroeconomics is a must. Like example, I will say you the study of monetary policy, physical policy, or industrial labor or exim policy, right? So it's done in managerial economics as to know the influence of these on the business of the firm. That's why we say that it is acceptance of use and utility of macroeconomic variables. And the next one is it is sophisticated in developing the disciplines. That means managerial economics is more refined and sophisticated discipline as compared to economics because it uses modern scientific methods of statistics and mathematics. That's why it is called as sophisticated and developing discipline. Whatever the modern models that has come up now in the statistics and mathematics that we can use in order to solve many various problems in the company. And the last one is it is applied business economics. That means managerial economics is an application of economics into business practices and decision making process. Therefore it is an applied economic business economics. Hope you understood the natures of your managerial economics. So these are the explanation which has been given in this slides, applied business economics and all. And the next one is the scope of managerial economics. So these are the few scope of your managerial economics. That is, the first one is we'll go with the estimation of product demand, analysis of product demand, planning of production schedule, deciding the input combination, estimation of cost of product, achieving economies of scale, determination price of the product, analysis of price of the product, analysis of market structure, profit estimation, planning and control of capital expenditure, demand analysis, cost and production analysis, pricing decision and practices, and profit management and capital management. Let us see one by one. So estimation analysis of product demand, that means now actually it is basis for planning how production has to be carried out. Example, deciding like what quantities of goods has to be produced and what is the capacity of utilizations has to be achieved. So the next one is planning of production schedule. That means excess production beyond reasonable level could cause the firm to incur wastage and unnecessary cost. That means it may leads to inventory also. So that is so we can overcome that unnecessary thing by proper planning of production schedule. And the next one is deciding the input combination. So a product can be manufactured using different combinations of input factors, like example like land, labor, capacity and technology. So they can use with respect to the which combinations give the maximum output with minimum cost. Example like cloth produced on an automatic power loom, right? So hand loom produced cloth will require different combinations of input. So the next one is estimation of cost and determination of the product. So here managerial economics and its cost concepts can be employed to analyze the cost of the product, and the profit can be maximized either by increasing the revenue or by decreasing the cost. So revenue depends on the market, cost is basically a function of the firm. And the next one is achieving economies of scale. So managerial economics enables one to calculate the optimum level of output where the minimum average cost can be obtained. That can be achieved by using managerial economics. And the next one is analysis and determination of price of the product. So this enables important thing of this is managerial decision making based on the price of the product. What should be the price of the product based on the what is the cost incurred, and it is also essential to understand the market structure within the product is being sold. And the next one is analysis and determination of price of the product. That is, it is nothing but where we can call for knowledge of the nature of the product and the number of buyers and sellers, and what is the exit and entry barrier into that market, whether what kind of market structure they are maintaining. So these are the things also possible. And the next one is profit estimation and planning. So managerial economics helps one to understand the nature of the profit, what kind of profit it is, and represent the logical basis for the various theories and explain reasons for emergence of the profit. And the next one is planning and control of capital expenditure. Managerial economics provides a framework for planning and capital expenditure decisions of the firm. It gives the criteria to appraise capital budgeting decision and choose the best out of available investment alternatives. So the next one is demand analysis and forecasting. As you all know, major part of managerial decision making depends on accurate estimates of demand. So the forecast of future sales serve as a guide for the management for preparing for the production schedules and employing the resources. And you all know the next one is cost and production analysis. So it helps to know what the profitability of the firm based on the cost of production of that product, and it also going to estimate the cost for variations in the cost and choose the cost minimizing output level, taking into the consideration the degree of uncertainty in production and cost calculation. And also it helps in the pricing decisions, how to make the price determination in various market forms, and what the pricing methods they can go with, whether it is differential pricing, product line pricing, or price forecasting. And the profit management. It helps in managing the profit. And the capital management, the problems relating to firms capital investment, how to raise the investment, how to control the capital expenditure, because it involves a large sum, and moreover the problems in disposing the capital assets of so complex that they require considerable time and labor. So these are the things that comes under your the nature of the scope of your managerial economics. And the next topic is difference between the economic theory and the managerial theory. So what do you mean by this economic theory? Actually, economic theory usually deals with the principles, where we follow so much of principles, but managerial theory deals with the application of certain principles to solve the problem of the firm. That means where this economy is mainly concerned with the theories, the application of that comes in the managerial theory. And the next one is economic theory as the characteristics of both micro and macroeconomics, but the managerial theory only deals with the microeconomics. That means it is concerned with the individual firm as well as the country, but whereas the managerial theory only concerned with the individual company. And the next one is managerial theory deals with the study of individual firm as well as the individual consumer, whereas the managerial theory studies only the individual firm. So economic theory, we usually concentrate on the customers with respect to the firm, but the managerial theory concentrates only with respect to the individual firms. And the next difference is economic theory is based on certain assumptions, where we give more importance to the assumptions, where the managerial theory these assumptions are disappear, because we usually apply the theories in the managerial theories. That's why the assumptions, we won't consider so much of assumptions in the managerial theory. And the next one is economic theory is based on the positive and normative in character, whereas managerial theory is essentially normative. That means positive means you know that the cause and effect thing, and normative is where we are going to experiment the thing. So that and all comes into picture. And the last difference is economic theory studies only the business economic aspects of the problem, whereas the managerial theory studies both economic and non-economic aspects of the firm. So these are the few differences between the economic theory and the managerial theory. And the next topic is significance of managerial economics. What are the significance of managerial economics? So the first significance of managerial economics is it enables to learn the practical implications of concepts in micro and macroeconomic theory, like example like demand, output, employment and all. It also helpful in making short and long term decisions. It provides the management with the strategic planning. It also teaches the manager how to take this can be maintain profitability, and it offers decision makers a way of thinking about the changes in the framework, and it also helps the managers to make appropriate policy decisions. These are some of the significance, and also it helps in forward planning and also in the decision making. So these are the significance of your managerial economics. Thank you.